The ocean was once ruled by a monster so vast that whales were nothing more than snacks. Megalodon, a predator 60 feet long with teeth like daggers, commanded the seas for 15 million years. But when the first humans began to walk upright on distant shores, this titan of the deep was already fighting a war it could never win. Imagine standing on a beach 2 million years ago, watching the horizon. The water suddenly erupts in a geyser of blood and foam. Something massive breaches the surface, a shadow longer than 3 school buses, jaws that could swallow a great white shark whole. This was Earth's ultimate predator, and it was starving. The Megalodon's reign coincided with humanity's earliest steps toward consciousness. While our ancestors crafted their first crude tools in Africa, these oceanic giants patrolled every sea on the planet. Scientists have discovered megalodon teeth scattered across continents, some as large as a human hand. The bite force? Over 40,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush a small car. Yet for all its power, something was hunting the hunter. But here's where the story turns darker than any nightmare. The same geological period that saw early humans learning to make fire witnessed the ocean's food chain collapsing from the bottom up. The megalodon wasn't just a predator, it was an indicator species, a barometer of oceanic health. When the seas began to die, so did the giant. Climate change struck the Earth like a slow-moving apocalypse 3 million years ago. Ice ages locked away vast amounts of water, dropping sea levels by hundreds of feet. The shallow coastal waters where megalodon bred and fed began to vanish. Whale populations, the giant's primary prey, started migrating to polar regions where the massive shark couldn't follow. The ocean was becoming a graveyard. Could our early human ancestors have witnessed the last megalodons? Archaeological evidence suggests coastal settlements existed during the final millennia of the shark's existence. Picture this: primitive humans gathering shellfish on newly exposed beaches, only to find massive teeth washing ashore, relics of a dying god of the sea. The fossil record reveals something chilling about Megalodon's final chapter. Juvenile specimens become increasingly rare in the geological layers, suggesting the species lost its ability to reproduce successfully. Adult sharks grew smaller with each generation, a clear sign of environmental stress. The ocean's apex predator was slowly shrinking, starving, disappearing into legend. Scientists have uncovered megalodon vertebrae, showing signs of disease and malnutrition. These weren't the bones of healthy giants, but of desperate survivors clinging to existence in a changing world. The same planet that nurtured them for 15 million years had become their executioner. But what if the story isn't over? Recent sonar readings from oceanic trenches have detected massive, unidentified objects moving in the deepest parts of our seas. Could fragments of the megalodon lineage have survived in the abyss, adapted to depths where no human eye has ever gazed? The megalodon's extinction marked more than the end of a species. It signaled the beginning of humanity's accidental dominion over Earth's ecosystems. As the last giants vanished beneath the waves, our ancestors inherited a planet suddenly smaller, suddenly more fragile. We never fought the megalodon directly, but we survived while it perished. That should terrify us more than any ancient predator ever could. The ice that killed the ocean's greatest hunter is melting now, releasing secrets frozen for millions of years. If something that ruled the seas for longer than mammals have existed could vanish in geological moments, what does that say about our own future? The same forces that toppled titans are stirring again in our warming world. If these forgotten chapters of Earth's violent history intrigue you, if you want to witness more battles between ancient giants and the forces that brought them low, then join us as we descend deeper into the shadows of prehistory. Because the megalodon story is just the beginning of a much darker truth. The death of Megalodon wasn't just an extinction, It was a prophecy written in bone and blood, foretelling humanity's own encounter with forces beyond our control. While early humans huddled around fires in African caves, the ocean's greatest predator was learning that size and power mean nothing when the planet itself turns hostile. What our ancestors couldn't have known was that they were witnessing the rehearsal for their own species' ultimate test. The same climatic chaos that starved the megalodon would later drive human evolution, forcing our kind through bottlenecks so severe that we nearly joined the giants in oblivion. Recent DNA analysis reveals that human populations crashed to fewer than 10,000 individuals around the same time Megalodon vanished. We were both survivors of the same apocalypse, both products of a dying world's cruel selection process. The difference? Humans learned to adapt. Megalodons simply grew larger teeth for prey that no longer existed. But the fossil record holds a darker secret about those final millennia. Megalodon bite marks appear on whale bones with increasing desperation, deeper gouges, more frenzied attacks. These weren't the calculated strikes of a confident apex predator, but the death throes of a starving giant. Scientists have found partial megalodon skeletons with stomachs containing rocks and debris, evidence that these creatures were literally eating anything to survive. The irony cuts deeper than any prehistoric tooth. While megalodons dominated the seas through brute force, early humans survived through cooperation and innovation. Archaeological sites from 2 million years ago show evidence of coordinated hunting, tool sharing, and primitive social structures. The meek weren't just inheriting the earth, they were building the foundations to outlast every titan that had ruled before them. Imagine the last megalodon, 60 feet of dying magnificence, circling empty waters where abundant prey once thrived. Its massive heart, weighing as much as a small car, pumps desperately through a body designed for abundance in a world now defined by scarcity. This was no noble death, but a slow starvation that lasted generations. Yet something else was stirring in those dying oceans. Something that might explain why some marine biologists refuse to declare Megalodon completely extinct. Deep-sea exploration has revealed ecosystems thriving around thermal vents, isolated communities that have survived every mass extinction event for hundreds of millions of years. Could the descendants of the great sharks have found refuge in Earth's most unreachable places? The evidence is circumstantial but haunting. Sonar anomalies in ocean trenches deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Massive bite marks on deep-sea cables that show no signs of decay. Whale carcasses surfacing with wounds too large for any known predator. The abyss keeps its secrets well, but sometimes those secrets leave traces. Modern humans have created conditions eerily similar to those that killed the megalodon. Rising ocean temperatures, collapsing fish populations, acidifying seas, we're recreating the same environmental cocktail that poisoned the ancient oceans. The question isn't whether we can survive what the megalodon couldn't, but whether we're wise enough to recognize the warning signs written in prehistoric bone. The cosmic joke becomes clear when you realize that Megalodon survived the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, weathered ice ages that would make our current climate fears seem trivial, and endured volcanic eruptions that darkened skies for decades. What finally broke this ultimate survivor wasn't a single catastrophe, but the slow, inexorable change that comes when a planet's fundamental systems shift beyond recognition. Scientists studying Megalodon's final fossil layers have discovered something that should make every human pause in wonder and terror. The last generation of these giants shows evidence of rapid evolutionary changes, desperate adaptations attempting to match a world transforming faster than 15 million years of perfected predation could accommodate. Even evolution has limits when change comes too fast. We stand now where the Megalodon stood in its final millennia, masters of a world that may already be slipping beyond our control. The ice caps that sealed the great shark's fate are melting, releasing not just water, but the memory of what happens when titans fall. If you want to understand what comes next, if you're ready to face the deeper truths about survival on a planet that has buried giants before, then follow us into the darkness where Earth's real history waits.